Do you want to know the secret how to build a media company with no money? I'm going to share the exact business model that we used to build a media company that is now a seven-figure business. Let's get into it. My name's Shawn Walchef. I own Cali BBQ and Cali BBQ Media in San Diego. 18 years in the restaurant business and the last 8 years running a media company. 5 years of that media journey, we made no money. That's why we're making this video, so that you don't have to take as much time as it took us to not only get big brand deals, get clients, get sponsors, but also build a sustainable media business. This is the exact business model that we used. Podcast first. So we were a podcast company, and then we launched a second podcast. The second podcast, we looked for a distribution partner. So it was one thing to build an audience, a core audience, a small audience, and B2B people, but the second was to get a distribution partner. That distribution partner helped us land a six-figure sponsorship deal, which was our first sponsorship deal. That sponsorship deal helped us sell into our first show. So now 2 podcasts, and that is within the 5-year period. Once we had 2 podcasts, we started to realize that not only were we selling advertising into those shows, but we also were doing work of creating podcasts. So we could do that podcast production for other companies, which is where the agency model came. So podcast first, second podcast, doing podcasts really well, and then launching not just podcasts, but also YouTube channels. I'm going to share the exact story, how we did it, why we did it, and how it can help you, especially if you're a creator, if you're a podcaster. I can tell you from personal experience, the amount of people that laughed at me when I said I'm a barbecue media company and we do B2B content. Everyone laughed. People still laugh, but I'll tell you, a lot less people are laughing now that we've done deals with Amazon, with Walmart, with Pepsi, with Google, with Toast, with all of these incredible companies in the restaurant and restaurant tech space time. We're going to share all the secrets. Let's get into it. How do you launch a media company with no money? Well, number one, you just have to start, and you have to tell people your crazy idea, and you got to start podcasting. You got to start making videos. You got to become a creator. You got to think big. Thinking big was one of the biggest things, even though people are going to laugh at you. We started with a show called Behind the Smoke back in 2017. It was me and one of my closest friends, Derek Marceau. We started above the butcher shop. He owns a company called Valley Farm Market, and we built a podcast studio above his butcher shop, and we had in-person conversations. We made a commitment that every single week we were going to record a podcast. It was audio only in the beginning, up to 50 episodes. In the 50th episode, we have a local realtor come in, and his name is Kyle Whistle. He was doing YouTube content. He asked if he could film the podcast on video, and it was a mind explosion of like, wow, now it's omni-channel storytelling. We started incorporating video. Fast forward, we did 100 episodes of Behind the Smoke. I rebranded it, turned it into digital hospitality to chase a deep thesis. That deep thesis was that restaurant owners, business owners who cared about storytelling, who cared about technology, would not only want to come onto my show, but also become a part of the community. I didn't give up. I think that's probably one of the most important things if you're a content creator, if you want to be a media company, is you have to keep doing the work, especially in the dark times. There were many times where we weren't making money at the restaurant. We didn't have money to keep the podcast going, but I knew that we had to keep the podcast going. Fast forward 5 years later, we had an opportunity through my mentor, David Meltzer, through Yelp, another partner of ours that we were doing content with. They both had relationships at Entrepreneur Magazine. I reached out to Entrepreneur Magazine to launch the idea of a new show, not just digital hospitality, but restaurant influencers, an industry-specific niche down into storytelling, into technology, into restaurants, and create a show with a distribution partner like Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur agreed to launch the show, and we went and we pitched Toast to become our title sponsor of the show. That was our first media deal that opened up the doors for us to start creating a much bigger show, reaching millions of people. Since that show's launch in 2022, we've reached over 40 million people through podcasts, through website visits, reading the articles, and through video distribution. Not to mention the social media reach that all the guests have had. Once we had restaurant influencers and digital hospitality, 2 shows Now we could start selling into the first show, which was digital hospitality. We could sell restaurant influencers at a much higher rate because it reached many more people. But if we had clients that wanted to reach an audience, that wanted content, that needed help with LinkedIn, that needed help with YouTube, we could sell into digital hospitality. Those were the two shows that allowed us to start to build an agency model, to start doing podcast production, which we've done work for many incredible companies like Craveworthy Brands, Incentivio, Restaurant 365, where our team actually launched their podcasts. And we started doing YouTube work. So now we do YouTube work for a lot of startup companies, mid-sized companies in the restaurant tech space, and even large companies that are looking to get B2B storytelling done. I'm sharing all the secrets of all the things that we've learned because we've been able to scale past 7 figures. Our goal is to get to 8 figures and to share all of those secrets along the way. Creating a media company with no money, with no investors is a hard thing to do, but it is possible. You have to be one of the 1%. You have to be one of the people that say, I believe in podcasting. I believe in content. I believe in storytelling. And no matter what, I'm going to find the Rob Dyrdeks of the world, the David Meltzers of the world, the Shaquille O'Neals of the world that have done deals. We work now with a company called San Pedro Fish Market, Mike Ungaro. They are a client of ours, and we are working with their show that they created. They created a show, Kings of Fish, on Amazon Prime, and we are working on season 2. If you're a creator, if you want to get media deals, if you want to figure out, you know in your heart that there is a way to make money in the media business and the content business, you have to bring in the brand side. You have to be able to get long-term brand deals, not just one-offs, but long-term brand relationships. And there is a way to get there. We're going to keep sharing these secrets. We would love for you to join our Rising Tides live call. Storytellers, content creators, restaurateurs, technology professionals. We do it every single week on Wednesday. Join our Rising Tides call. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me anytime. On Instagram's the fastest. I share stories every single day at Shawn P. Walchef. Let's build media companies together.